Hey guys, welcome to the Blade Podcast, the podcast about film production, post-production, editing, color correction, post-production workflows, and building a production company from the ground up. Okay, my name is Lungile. This is the very first episode of The Blade. And obviously the word The Blade is taken from the blade tool that you use to cut up footage when you're editing. So little clever name there. Yeah, welcome to the podcast. This podcast is for people that are beginners, freelancers, and people that are interested in working in post-production or building their own film production company. So if you are like a super expert and you're like Jerry Backheimer or someone who's made like a shitload of films, this might not be for you. But if you're looking to learn and you want to learn more about the film business and the TV business and post-production business, this podcast is for you. Okay, so today I'm going to be talking about something that I've been thinking about for a long time. So basically, these are the lessons that I've learned from running a creative business for a whole year. Okay, so I've been running a production agency in Johannesburg, South Africa for a while, for close to a year now, and there's a whole bunch of stuff that I've learned, and I thought it would be pretty cool to share and talk about my experiences and like things that maybe you guys might pick up nuggets on. Before I get into it, just a quick background. So I've worked in the film and TV industry. I've worked for different companies. I worked at different post-production companies, film production companies, promo companies. I've worked at movies, I've worked at music videos, I've produced some indie films, web series, and all that jazz. So that's just my pretty basic background. I don't want to like get too much or talk too much about it. I want to get into the value. So let's get into it. So the lessons I've learned from running a creative business for a full year, full time. So the first thing I learned is that like when you're working with a client, the work that you do is to please the client, and you learn that the things that you're doing, you're not doing them just to be like to make cool stuff and cool shit. You need to make stuff that helps solve the client's problems, whether it's a video or you're editing something. Usually it feels like it's so much better when you think of your client as someone with a problem, and then you're the one who is solving the problem with your creativity, whether it's editing or designing or whatever it is that you do. So it's one of the lessons that I've learned, that I had to like let go of trying to make something cool for me, but it's a client video for the client. I had to learn, okay, what do they want? What is their goal? What are they trying to achieve? What is their problem? And how can I help them solve that? So that's one thing I learned, is that like it's not about me, it's about doing something for the client. Because sometimes you even disagree on something creative, but you learn to hold yourself back and say, you know what, this is not about me, this is about this person. The second thing is, you have to deliver value to the client. You need to make their lives easier. You need to help them get the best bang for their buck. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to be cheap. It just means you just have to give as much value to them as you can. Because I feel like when you give value, they come back. You start having repeat customers. You start having them come back and ask you for more work and refer you to other people. So it's very important to think about how much value you're giving them. Maybe an example is, like you want to make them look good. Like I've had work where clients would come to me and say, yo, we're doing a pitch and we want you to cut this trailer and we want you to make this trailer look awesome. So how I give value is I'll edit that trailer and I'll make it like look like the best show you've ever seen. Like I'll add sound effects. I just like go all out to make it like super, 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 super dope. And when I do that, the client like becomes happy, and then when they are happy, they're delighted, and then they give you more work. So I think it's one of the things that you need to think about. Like it's kind of like you're running a shop, but you want to have good customer service. You want to deliver value. So it's a different way of thinking, because like when I used to have a 9 to 5, we just did work because like it was the brief, and what was what the client wanted, but I never really thought like I actually have to deliver value and like give more value than what they're paying for, because if I do that, they're gonna come back to me. So it's just a weird little business thing that I learned. Okay. Oh yeah, another thing I've learned is that once you're running a business, you are going to be putting out fires like a lot. You have to be the chief problem solver. Like, it's nice to say, oh, I'm my own boss, I'm taking sleep, whatever, I can work from all over the world, all that bullshit. But like, you realize like the more you do stuff, you become a problem solver. You have to learn to Google things if your computer crashes or your laptop has issues, or like you just have to be a problem solver. If you're not even an IT person or a technical person, you have to start learning these things, and you need to be able to solve these things. Like a basic example, I work from home and I work from my laptop, and I've always feared like, I'll get a job and then there'll be load shedding. Load shedding is like power cuts. Here in SA, if you don't know what load shedding is, but like what's going to happen if I have power cuts here? Like, the client still wants the work delivered, so I need to be prepared for that. I need to try to prepare for the worst, which is why I thought about like buying a power bank for a laptop, because I was like, you know what, like you always want to be ready for when shit hits the fan. So if you like predict something bad that might happen, you prepare for that. By the time you're editing and you're killing a promo or whatever it is that you're doing, you want to be ready for anything that happens, whether your battery dies or your hard drive dies, your program crashes, which also comes back to, preparing for the worst. You can even back up your projects. I back up my projects on the cloud, like on Google Drive, and also back them up on different drives, just so that if anything happens, I know I can always get those projects back. And if the power cuts, I know I can just either go to work from a coffee shop or pull out my power bank for a laptop. So it's just a few things that you have to think about. Another thing I learned is that, most of the work that you get from people that you know. And it's very weird, because like people only hire people they know. And if the people that you know are not hiring at that time, you're not going to get hired by other people. So you need to be marketing. Like, hence I'm making this podcast, because I realized I need to put myself out there and talk about my skills and give value, versus spamming people via emails, because people don't really respond to that. But if I give value or make videos and I start marketing myself, I start getting a lot of inquiries about work. So ever since I started putting out more videos and sharing them on Facebook and YouTube and LinkedIn, I started getting more inquiries about work and sales and stuff like that. So that was one thing I was like, wow, okay, I didn't know that me making videos would lead for me to get leads and clients. So yeah, marketing is really, really important, because I think that like you can be the greatest editor, designer, whatever, creative, but if you're not marketing your skills or marketing your company, you're not going to get clients, you're not going to get sales, you're not going to get leads. So it's like it takes you out of the whole 9-to-5 like mindset where I'm always going to get a brief. You don't have to worry about these things. But once you're running your own solo shop, you realize, shit, if I don't get clients, I'm not going to get paid. If I don't make sales or get leads, if I don't market, no one's going to know about me. And the only people that are going to call me are the people that I know or the people that know me. And there's not a lot of those people. And also, they're not going to have work all the time. So marketing is like key, dude. Like, and you can also market by just sharing stuff on Instagram or Facebook, write blogs, tweets. I've actually seen a lot of creatives share like tips on Twitter threads, and I think it gives you a lot of awareness, and you can lead you to getting clients. I haven't tried Twitter yet because I'm just a little bit, I'm still finding my feet with Twitter. I feel like you need to be very like concise, and like you need to know what you're saying, because it's like such few words. But it's something that I want to get into. Another thing I think that is great about Twitter is like everything is like goes viral so quickly. But it's something that I want to look into. But for now, I want to stick to making videos and making podcasts so that, if people want to learn about new things in post-production, they can listen to the Blade podcast. 2 more lessons that I've learned is that it's important to have very big goals. I watch a lot of inspirational videos, and I watched this video by Jack Ma where he was talking about when you start a company, you need to try to compete with the biggest companies in the world. When you work towards competing with those people, you're aiming very, very high. And even if you aim super high, when you get your results or keep going, you will learn. You'll probably land somewhere in the middle. So to compete with international companies and learn what they do and see what they're doing, find out what they do, and try to apply that to your company, that will make you a better company. So versus competing with companies in your country or your city. It's nice, but if they're not raising the bar, it's nice to compete with those people. And it's also nice to be ambitious. And I don't know, for me, it just opened my mind that, if I say, dude, I'm going to build the next Disney or the next biggest post-production company, you start to think differently, you start to do things differently. You start to be learning new skills all the time, looking at what other companies are doing. And you also try to break out of the rules that normal competitors, the normal things that your competitors do, and you look for other things that you can do better. So I'm not sure if I'm articulating it properly, but I think that it's very good to dream big. It feels good. Now, if you are running a company or startup, obviously we know there's things going on in the world. There's COVID. People are working from home. Something that I learned is that, what's happening is I'm getting clients send me stuff and I have to download it. And usually it's really big files, 10 gigs, 20 gigs, 50 gigs. And I learned that I actually need bigger internet bandwidth, And first of all, you need fiber. Let's actually start right there at the beginning. You need fiber if you're going to be working remotely, because clients are going to be sending you stuff. You're going to be sending stuff to them. You're going to be uploading. So having a fiber internet cable at your house is paramount, versus having a Wi-Fi device that doesn't connect directly to your computer. I don't think those devices have a lot of bandwidth. So if you get sent 50 gigs of footage and you have to send a 2-3 gig file back, it's just going to be really, really slow. So it's important to have fiber or whatever you can get. But if you can get some sort of internet where it has a bit of higher bandwidth, it helps you in your day-to-day basis, downloading videos, uploading videos, sending videos for review. Sorry about that. Sending videos for review, downloading them, uploading them. It just helps you become a better person, run things much, much better. One thing I want to talk about is news and trends and resources in the film production and post-production space. So one thing that I've been learning now, there's a guy called Vashi. He is a Premiere Pro editor. He has a video course that he releases every week. It's about feature film editing. I think if you want to learn editing to edit movies and documentaries, it's a really good course to check out. If you look at Google Vashi Visuals, you will see that he has a course. I'll put a link below in the video. But if you listen to the podcast, just Google Vashi Visuals. So Vashi is in VASHI Visuals. He's got a really great editing course that you can look at. It has so much info. There's even a 64 or 68 page PDF that you can read if you want to learn more about editing and post and working on big movies and things that you can apply to your projects to be better. So I think it's a really cool resource. That's something that I'm learning now week by week as he's releasing all the stuff. I think also checking out the multi-choice masterclasses. They had a Dolby Digital Masterclass webinars that were happening for the last 6 weeks. And they were like audio engineers talking about sound for editors and things you need to learn pertaining to sound and production. I think they are very, very detailed webinars, and they're very, very good. So that's something to check out. I'll also try to link them below. If you're listening to the podcast, just Google Dolby Digital Multi-Choice Masterclasses. And yeah, so this is the first episode of The Blade. I hope you guys love this content. I'm going to be dropping a lot of it. I'm going to make more episodes. And if you have any questions, please drop a comment below. Send me questions, things you'd like me to talk about, things you'd like to learn about, and I'll make sure I talk about them. So until next time, guys, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep